I'm telling you now, have realistic expectations. If you don't want to suffer like me, have realistic expectations.
Don't let people fool you
about what university is like. Don't let them fool you. Period. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Prills back with another video. I'm gonna be real. I absolutely hated, when I say hated the first week of university. Well, let me just say freshers in general. I did not like it. Not everything, but just generally, my expectation was up here and the reality was down here. So what I'm going to talk about is the hidden truths of university. I don't want people to fall into the same trap I did with coming in with all these high expectations and then getting here and being like, this is not what I thought. I would say the first thing that nobody tells you about when you're moving into uni, when you're starting university, is the loneliness. I didn't expect to make my best friends within the first week. Like, that's a bit of a stretch. I'm the kind of person, I'll be real, I've never really found it that hard to like talk to people, to make friends. Now I'm coming to university, and not that it was hard, but like it took a while to actually find my people and find solid friends and feel secure in those friendships as well. Let me explain the kind of loneliness that I'm talking about. You go to lectures, yeah, you've met people in Freshers Week, whatever. You come out and it kind of feels like you're floating, like you don't really know who to go to, like you don't really have a set group of friends, wandering around by yourself. And I feel like for me it was exacerbated because I went to the same school for 7 years. Essentially, I had the same friends for 7 years. So apart from year 7, I've never really been in that position or in that situation where I've had to venture out and make new friends. Like, none of my closest friends came to my uni or were doing my course. So I was essentially alone. And I think I didn't expect to find it as hard as I did. Like, I'm moving around and I don't really have a sense of belonging. Like, I'm just kind of by myself, which was kind of hard. And like, everything's new. It was just not fun at all. I just remember breaking down. Like, my mom called me, I just broke down. And I think I also had an expectation that I would come in, I don't know, I'd be besties with all my flatmates. I guess that's my fault for having unrealistic expectations. The next thing I'm going to talk about, number 2. I feel like this is just specifically my university. My university is in London. You know, they say it has mad diversity. So I remember first night, I was going to my first freshers event. You know how people queue up for a club outside? I only saw one other black person in that queue. It was a long queue as well. I saw one other black person in that queue. I remember thinking, sorry, what? Obviously, I know, as black people, we are the minority, but I think I didn't expect it to be like that. I grew up in the suburbs. There wasn't exactly many black people around. I'm not alien to being the only black girl in the room or the only black person in the room. But like, my secondary school was a bit better, you know, it was mixed. I didn't really feel like that. But I didn't expect uni to feel like that. And that first night is like how I felt. I was not that I can't be friends with people that aren't black, not that I can't be friends with other races. It's just when you see another black person, there's already that, you know, there's that similarity. There's like, okay, we'll relate on a certain level. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And not seeing that, I was like, okay, I did not expect this. I've heard a lot about this uni and it being diverse. And I think when they say diverse, it means they have like a lot of international students or people from all sorts of different backgrounds. In terms of people like me, that first night I was like, oh. And that was a bit of a shock as well. So I was like, okay, I'm now going back to that dynamic of being only black girl in the room. The third thing I would say is I don't think people tell you how overwhelming university actually is. You're essentially, for most people, you're moving into new accommodation. You're starting a degree, right? And this degree as well, you know, no one's chasing you up, telling you do this, do that. Like, obviously I knew that, but it's literally like they just leave you to your own devices. The work is there, you do it. If you don't do it, it's on you. Like, just having to cook for yourself, clean for yourself, do your washing, balance that with a social life of like going out and everything, then managing your degree. And it's like you're expected to be this adult when we have just come from secondary school. I've just come from secondary school where my mom was doing XYZ for me, or from secondary school where I had teachers pushing me, and you just jump into this new environment and it's like, hold up, I have to do all of this myself. Like, if I don't wash this plate's not getting washed. If I don't cook this food, I'm going to starve. Whereas at home, you know, if I'm starving, there'll be food here, there'll be food in the fridge. I will say that I'm lucky I live in London, just because there have been times, I'm not even gonna lie, there have been times I actually had no food in my fridge and I had no money. I just went back home and ate food from home because I said, yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, it's overwhelming because you come from being a child in secondary school. A few months down the line, you're expected to be this adult. You're expected to have your life together. And it's like, no one taught me how. No one's telling me how. It's just massive jump. The fourth thing. I feel like this one is a bit more talked about, but like money. Money where, money who? I knew uni would be expensive, but like I've never experienced brokenness like this in my life. You know, there was a time I think I had £7 in my account to actually last me to the end of the week. And I didn't have food, I didn't have milk, I didn't have bread. What was going on? And student finance is not financing, especially because I live in London, right? So my accommodation in London is quite expensive. Like, my student finance does not even cover my accommodation. All I can say is the struggle is real. So when you go out, it's 4 a.m, you're taking the bus, you walk in. No, you're gonna get an Uber, you're gonna get a Bolt. That costs money. Food costs money. Washing your clothes costs money. Everything costs money. You breathe, it costs money. Like, it's tough. But I feel like this one is a bit more talked about. But being broke, like, don't underestimate it. Like, that summer before uni, work. Like, I'm not gonna lie, work, because it's gonna be tough. I can't say too much about the Midlands. I can't say too much for people who are outside of London. But London, work. Or unless you get massive student finance and it's financing and you're lucky. I don't know. But it's expensive. Drinks are expensive. Go to a club. What? One vodka is £10. We be doing prees. We be lying. I saw, you know, a lot of things on social media, on TikTok, on Insta, you know, Snap stories. And I saw what the Midlands unis were like. I saw the raves, I saw XYZ. And that's what I expected my uni experience to be like. And I think, you know, you've got to remember, not that London can't be like that, but I think university in London and university in the Midlands, very, very different. So I had Midland expectations, but I was going to a London university. So, you know, I just need to remember where I was going. So, not saying London life is not lit, but yeah. Something I'm finding is that I have no clue if I'm doing enough. Like, I don't really feel a sense of direction. I can only talk about my course. I came in, I didn't really know how to study. Like, I thought I did. I watched YouTubers and stuff before. I was like, yeah, Anki, Notability. Didn't actually know what worked for me. And even now, I'm still experimenting. You know, sometimes you can feel a bit like the imposter syndrome. This is more directed at med, but sometimes you can feel like, you know, I'm not meant to be here, like I'm not good enough. I think I've definitely felt this this term, which is quite weird because, like, the school I went to, it was a grammar school, so like most people were up there academically, so I didn't really think it would be that different in med. Like, I knew I was going to be with people that are intelligent. I would say another expectation I had was of my room. Obviously, I knew price of a room in London, price of a room in the Midlands, different. Point blank, different. I came in with rose-tinted glasses of what I thought university was going to be like. So I come in my room, tell me why toilet's not flushing, as in the handle is broken. The inside of the toilet, dirty. The shower, dirty. The windowsill was dusty. Even there was like a bed sheet on, stained. Like, I'm telling you now, have realistic expectations. If you don't want to suffer like me, have realistic expectations.
Don't let people fool you.
We're gonna take it back. So I've been telling you guys the expectations be reality of the beginning of uni, the hidden truths behind the start of uni. But let me just review some of the things at the point I'm at now. I still feel lonely? No, I'm not gonna lie, things did change, things got better. You know, I do feel like I've made some really, really good friends. I don't feel like I've made all the friends I'm gonna make. Still need to go out, explore, meet new people, but I've definitely made like people that I'm like, yeah, we gonna be boys for life. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like if anyone is feeling, or if anyone did feel or is still feeling lonely, it does change. And I don't want to give people like a bad view of uni. Like, it does get better. I think just be realistic about it. You know, these things take time. Do you know what I mean? You can't walk in on the first day, or if you're lucky, maybe you walked in on the first day and you found your best friend, but it doesn't really happen. Diversity, yeah, I'll be real. It's better. Like, first night was a bit unfortunate. With med and stuff, like, don't even worry. There are more of us. I just didn't meet those people at that point in time, but there are definitely more of us. Obviously, being black, you know, we're not going to be the majority, which, if you thought that, I'm no well gone for you. Like, I no longer feel like I'm the only black girl in the room. Like, it's a lot. Is it still overwhelming? Yes, but just to a lower degree. Like, obviously at the beginning it was like everything's in your face. I think now I'm starting to balance a bit better. Like, I didn't know how to balance going out, having a social life, studying, working hard. I think the main thing I would say is you just got to allow yourself that time to adjust, which for me, I didn't really. Well, in terms of expectation wise, like, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come into uni, I'm gonna film every other day, I'm gonna edit every other day, I'm gonna do all these lectures, do all this revision, go out, have an amazing social life. And it's like, I'm actually human, and I think as people you need to actually just allow yourself to be human. Like, I'm not a robot. I get lazy sometimes, really and truly. Sometimes I just want to stay in bed, and that's normal. I need to allow that for myself. Still working on it, not gonna lie, but I'm better than I was at the beginning, and I think I just gotta focus on the progression. Do you know what I mean? No clue what I'm doing. I think with medicine you've got to be comfortable that, like, you're never gonna finish. There's no end. And what I mean by that, let me explain, is that there's no end to how much you can know. Like, it's not like school, you revise for a test and it's just, you need to know this, that on the specification and you'll be fine. There's no spec. Medicine is endless. There's always new things happening. It's like you can keep reading and reading and reading, and you've just got to be comfortable that there is no end. You can't finish, you can't know everything. I'm quite a perfectionist. I've gotten a bit better, but I am a perfectionist, and you know, if things aren't going, you know, how I planned, it makes me feel a bit uneasy, or I feel a little bit unsettled. But I think I'm starting to learn, like, it's actually okay. It's okay not to have everything figured out. There is so much content, and I think I'm learning that it's okay to not know everything. Like, there is no way you're gonna know everything, and I think once you find comfortability in that, you just become more at peace and more at ease, and you start to enjoy uni more. Well, that's what I found in myself. I remember my friend was telling me, she was like, you're not gonna know 100% of the content. Aim to know 80%. If you know more than 80% of the content, you're good. I think that's how I'm living now. So yeah, uni is definitely a happier place. But anyways, guys, thank you for listening to my video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you continue to watch more videos. And yeah, thank you guys.